This is when I realized we are not even trying. Because at mile 70, I was in the worst pain of my entire life. I was broken. I thought my third hell week, I was really bad off. No, there's nothing I can ever imagine being worse than this race. And it was the easiest 100-mile race I've ever done in my life, ever, but I wasn't prepared. And so at mile 70, I'm in this chair, I'm pissing blood, I'm crapping up my back, I'm in the worst shape of my life. And I'm like, I need to quit. But what I did though was through my life, I realized that your mind wants to quit. It's called the 1 second decision, when your mind is spazzing out. And it's like, we're miserable, let's go home. And at mile 70, I was there, but I didn't get there till I sat down. It's like, oh my God, my blood pressure dropped, I was dizzy, lightheaded, and the pain just came over me. Because my body thought I was done, in my mind. So I sat there and said, you know what, I might quit. I knew I wasn't, but what that might quit did was it kind of gave my mind all that anxiety and let it go. Because my mind said, oh, he's gonna quit. So we're gonna sit here for a while and just sit here. We're done. I literally start to get food, hydrate up, and I'm dizzy, I can't stand up. So now, after a while, I stand up. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna quit. But once again, I knew I wasn't. There's a trick to the mind. Give your mind a little bit of space. If it knows I have 30 more miles to go and I'm in the worst shape of my life, my mind's gonna say, no way, dude. So you gotta give it some space. Say, you know what, if I can stand up and walk 1 mile, this would be the biggest achievement of my life, because I'm death. Right now, I'm death. If I can get up and walk 1 mile, that'd be the best day of my life. I walked a mile. And I won't go too deep into it all. I got 2 miles. Maybe I'll try 3. I did this to mile 81. At mile 81, the person crewing was like, hey, you know what? Basically, I knew I wasn't gonna make the time because I was crawling around that track, crawling. And this is the eureka moment. This is it. Out of my whole life, this is the one time, this is when I realized that we are way cutting ourselves short. Worst shape of my life, thought I was gonna die. Never felt this kind of pain before in my life, ever, never again. In mile 81, when I knew I wasn't gonna make the time, I ran 20 miles. I did 101 miles. I was averaging like 10:30s. Coming from death, being able to barely walk, now I'm running 10 to 10:30s for the next 20 miles. When I got done with that, I sat back down in that chair that was now my porta potty. It was my ex-wife. She actually backed the car up on this grassy knoll where I was kind of, camped up at for 19 hours and 6 minutes. I ran 101 miles. Walked 101 miles. I got home. I detailed well in the book. I won't go through it well. It was a horrible situation. I was in the worst shape of my life. Passing out, shitting on myself, peeing blood. I got in the tub. I had this poncho liner on because in San Diego in November, it's chilly. So I'm freezing. She puts the water on me and I'm peeing what looks like dirt. It's just dark. It looks like dirt coming out of me. And we have a discussion and she calls my mom up. My mom has a doctor friend. The doctor friend says, you got to get him to the hospital. His kidneys are shutting down. This is going on. He could die. And this is where the story gets kind of crazy. It was the best and worst feeling I had in my life. I had put myself in a situation where I opened my mind to the fullest capacity to pull this off. And all the pain, it was live. The pain sensors were going to my body. I'm in this tub in the fetal position. The water's coming down on me. And I'm just sitting there, just jackhammering. Hot water hit me. I'm jackhammering, peeing Coca-Cola out of me. I'm like, God, dog, she goes, we gotta get you to the hospital. It was the best feeling of my entire life. And everybody goes, how do you say that? I probably could have died. And I literally pushed myself to a place that very few human beings would ever be willing to go. I got to examine myself. I call it the live autopsy, where we find out why someone died after they're dead. I got a chance in 19 hours and 6 minutes to put myself in the worst possible condition I could possibly be in and figure out how to get through it and get through it. And all this pain going through me was confirmation that I had just done something that I thought was humanly impossible. And I didn't want it to go away. Look what the human mind can do. And from that 19 hours and 6 minutes, I lived an entire lifetime. Entire lifetime. People live 100 years and never experience the highs, the lows, the journey I did, all of it. In 19 hours and 6 minutes, I lived 100 years. And I try hard to put it in the book, but no one will ever be able to really understand what that was about. And I was like, if I die here today, I'm fine with that, because I just literally pulled off something that I never thought was even humanly possible. There's a part of it that has to be about suffering. And people hate it when I post about suffering, this whole new kinder, gentler world, they just, oh God, this is horrible. We talking about, no. Suffering, if you know how to do it without making it out to be like, oh, I'm not talking about you have to go through cancer. But I guarantee one thing, man, mentally, if you look at it the right way, everything I went through in my life, every bad thing I went through in my life, the 2 heart surgeries, all the name calling, being everything I went through. And if you look at life as it is a trial ground, a testing ground for where you need to belong, where you need to go, suffering is a fact of life. And if you look at suffering the right way, it's a great tool to callous your mind. If you look at it as suffering, woe is me, if you look at it like, okay, I get it. Whenever I'm being like depressed, I go through depressed moments, I go, oh, hang on, I'm getting tested. So you have to be aware of all the signals and signs that are being given to you from the world. One of them is if you feel bad, you're being tested. How are you going to perform under that? Who are you? At the core of your soul. And if he can't answer that question, our conversation's over. If you don't know who you are, I can't tell you who you are. Greatness is whatever the hell you dreamed of in your own mind. You got to first see it. You got to first create this vision in your mind. And then that's when I come into play. Once you create this vision in your mind, it's how am I going to get there now? And that's when I come into play. But first you got to create your own vision. And it's not external. It's the vision created is inside of you. So until you create that, I'm nobody to you. These people go to the gym, they get big, they get jacked, they can run fast, but the only thing they're doing is they're coding over the mind. All you're doing is building a bigger, stronger quitter. Your mind hasn't gotten any stronger. So the second adversity comes, like, my God, I'm so fit. What's wrong? Your mind is still soft. There's a 1,000-page dive manual that I got 18 months before I went to dive school. Most people, I'm not smart, I'm gonna go see if I can pass this test. I realized, hang on a second, I'm not smart. How can I get past this? How can I get through this obstacle? So you gotta strategize on each problem you have in life. Slowly break down that problem. Don't think about all the problems you have, just one at a time. And before you know it, you fix all these problems, but you cannot focus on all of them, just on the one thing at a time.